Hello neighbor, this is Curt with eTrailer, and today we're going to take a look at the Westin Traxx Nerf Bars. We're going to see how they fit and how they install on our 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500. Now, Nerf bars and running boards are a great way to reduce that step up into a vehicle with high ground clearance like we have today on our 2500. And in the case of these Nerf bars, these represent a really good, stylish, sleek, kind of minimalistic look for your truck. It's going to offer a 4-inch wide step. However, you should also know that there is a version available in a 5-inch wide step if you want it to use it for like a bigger footprint, if you're a bigger shoe size. The bar itself is closed at both ends, so you don't have to worry about any kind of water or road salt or anything like that getting on the inside of the bars and corroding it from inside. It is going to be a steel with a black powder coat, so from the outside, it's going to be great with corrosion and rust resistance. So the step pads are going to be a hard plastic, and like I said before, these are the 4-inch wide version, but the step pad itself covers almost the entire door, so it is a pretty good area for you to be able to step up on. It also features these covers for the brackets, since there's really not a whole lot going on back here to block anything, and these are going to kind of help make it look a lot better for you as well. Now, I think this black is an excellent look on here, and I do like the way that the foot pads and the bracket covers really complement that black matte trim on the vehicle as well. But if you're somebody that likes a little bit more of a chrome look, I should let you know that these Nerf bars are also available in a stainless steel. Now let's take a look at just how much this is going to help us as far as getting in and out of the vehicle. So if I'm going to measure from the ground up to the door threshold here, I am looking at a distance of about 27 inches. So that's a little bit over 2 feet, quite a leap for anybody of any height to get in and out of the truck. With these Nerf bars, I'm going to be able to reduce that first step to about 15.5 inches. And that's a big improvement as far as helping us get in and out of the truck safely. This really is one of the more popular styles for the Silverado 2500, and installation is really not too difficult as Nerf bars and running boards go. It's going to be a 3-bracket installation, so follow along and I'll show you exactly how we got these on our truck today. So we begin our installation with our bracket assembly. So what you're going to find is your bracket, and these are side specific. Now, Westin does color code the bags to tell you which board goes with which bracket. However, it doesn't really tell you which color goes where. So we are on the driver's side right now, and the correct brackets, the tabs on it are going to be facing the rear of the truck. So we've got the correct brackets here. We're also going to have these plastic pieces, and it's going to say Westin on them. And this is the first thing that we're going to need to put in. It's going to fit right over this, just like that. Now, you're going to have 2 holes in the bracket, 4 holes in this sleeve. That's because these sleeves are universal to all different brackets for all different types of vehicles. But on this particular bracket, the holes that are going to line up are going to be this one and this one here. So hardware-wise, what I've got here is 2 M10 bolts, 4 M10 washers, and 2 M10 nuts. So I'm going to take one of the bolts and washers, and I'm just going to drop it in through the top there. Now, actually, let me turn this around. I don't like having all the bolt threading facing toward the front of the vehicle. So I would actually recommend that you turn it over and make sure that the threaded end is on the same end as the tabs, since they'll be facing the back of the vehicle. So once you put that on, go ahead and take another flat washer on the other side and just kind of loosely just get this nut started on here. And once that's attached, go ahead and run your other bolt through. Now I've got my 10mm socket here, and I've also got a 10mm wrench. I'm going to go ahead and tighten this down just to the point where the washers are touching the sides of the plastic. I don't want to pinch it down completely yet. I want to leave this a little bit maneuverable. It's just going to help mounting my Nerf bar later and not having to make any adjustments beyond that. So I'm just going to go ahead and snug this up. Now, one of the things I will say is that when it comes to this one down here, the socket or the ratchet doesn't really fit in that groove so well, so I just went ahead and grabbed a ratcheting wrench so that it'll fit better on this bottom one here. So now that we've got that attached, again, we've left it a little loose, but we got it a lot more snug. It's just going to make it easier to tighten it down later. Let's talk a little bit about our bracket placement. Now, there are 6 mounting points under the Silverado 2500, and they're really kind of broken down into 2 sets of 3. Starting from the front of the vehicle, you'll find a mounting point here, and then you'll find a second and a third a bit closer together. We'll move back a little bit, we'll find a 4th, and then a 5th and a 6th a little bit closer together. So with this being the first mounting point, you're going to be able to identify what they look like. You'll find either an open bolt hole with a matching one right above it, so one going vertically up and the other going toward the outside of the vehicle. Or if you didn't have a running board on it already, you'll find these plugs here. And the mounting locations that we want to use is the first, we're going to skip the second, we're going to use the third, we're going to skip the 4th, and then we have the option of using either the 5th or the 6th. Now, we took off factory running boards, so if that's the case, you won't have plugs in the holes that you need to use. Your first is going to be open for you, your third will be open for you, and your 6th will be open for you. So we're going to start by taking one of our M8 bolts, an M8 lock washer, and an M8 flat washer, and I'm just going to start the bolt down here on this bottom hole. Next, I'm going to take my bracket, slip it right over that bolt, and I'm going to have another set of the M8 and the M8 washers, and I'm going to thread that in up here at the top into the side of the frame. Now these, I only want to get in a bit by hand. Just like we did with these plastic covers, I want to leave it a little bit loose and maneuverable. So I'm only going to get these snug, but just loose enough so that I can maneuver them a little bit. This way, if I have a little bit of movement to them, it's just that much more helpful when I mount the Nerf bars. Now you can go ahead and grab your Nerf bar. Now these are going to be side specific as well, and there's a couple of ways that you could tell if you've got the right side. One, you should know that these are going to curve inward toward the vehicle at the end. 2, the foot pads are going to be more toward the front of the truck. So you can see there's a longer end behind this foot pad down there, so I know that's going toward the back end. The other way to determine it is that you're going to find that one of these ends has 2 sets of holes toward the end of it. And that is because, as I said earlier when we were setting up our brackets, you have the option of using the 5th or the 6th mounting location. So we are using the 6th. We'll be lining it up with these right here. But right now what you could do is go ahead and take them, take your Nerf bar, and you could just kind of lay it down real close to where the bolt holes are to the slots on your bracket. So from here, what you're going to find are these button head screws, and all this hardware is painted in black, just like the Nerf bar. It's going to end up looking a lot better that way. And just go ahead and take one of these along with this nylon locking nut, throw that on, and we'll also find a black flat washer that'll fit as well. Now from underneath, we can maneuver our Nerf bar here to line up with the holes on our bracket, and we're just going to go ahead and get that threaded in. You are going to get a hex key with your hardware that fits it, so you could go ahead and tighten them in using that. Once you've got everything set where you want it, go ahead and tighten down all of your bolts, starting with the bolts from the bracket to the Nerf bars. followed by the bolts on the bracket going into the vehicle, and then lastly, tighten down the bolts here for these plastic caps. Once you've done all that, go ahead and grab your torque wrench. Now, pay close attention to the instructions because each bolt size has a different torque spec. But once you go ahead and tighten down and torque down all of your bolts, we're going to be able to complete our installation. But if after watching this video you decide this is still a little bit more than you want to take on yourself, go ahead and use our dealer locator right here on the website. It's going to help you find an installer near you that'll help you get these onto your Silverado 2500. So that's a look at the Westin Traxx Nerf Bars on our 2025 Chevy Silverado 2500. And if you have any questions about these, or if you've gone ahead and purchased them and installed them and you've got an experience to share, go ahead and leave those in the comments below. Sharing those with other neighbors just like you can help them make the best decision for themselves. Once again, this is Kurt with eTrailer. Thanks for stopping by.